This is Kev Millar from the 2004 World Champion Boston Red Sox, and you're listening to Boston's Big Three podcast presented by Ride the Wave Media.
What's up, everybody? Spike King here, episode 41, Boston's Big Three, presented by Ride the Wave Media. Now, before we get into today's special guest from Patriots Nation, we got to show a little love to some of our sponsors. 1-100. 1-100 was created for real sports fans. It's the only online raffle website giving fans and experience seekers the chance to win incredible tickets to live sporting events. Head over to 1in100.co. That's ONEIN, the number 100.co, and take your chance at premium tickets where new users get 50% off your first entry. Launch Trampoline Park. From bowling, trampolines, laser tag, and virtual reality, Launch is an innovator leader in the family entertainment industry. Look up your nearest Launch Park to book your next birthday party or corporate event. V1 Vodka. V1 is a clean drinking vodka, pure and simple. It's the world's only vodka made from 100% non-GMO spelt, a prized ingredient for distillation hierarchy. From farm to glass, this is a vodka that champions drink. And lastly, Pete's Pop. Located on 151 Benefit Street in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, Pete's Pop has the world's most unique chips, candy, and soda under one roof. Check out their Instagram, Pete's Pop, for the wide selection or to place an online order. It's a lot of different sponsors right there. It's a lot of love that we got to show out there, but I got to show a little bit more love right here. Our next guest, no, it's not Ty Law, but it's someone that has rubbed his elbows and has made himself become a Hall of Famer in Patriots Nation, 100%. You might be hanging his blazer in the rafters at some point down the line in a couple of years. For those who don't know our next guest, he is somebody that I wouldn't even say he's up and coming because he's been there. He's been around in Patriots Nation, but me and him have talked going forward, and we both are doing our own little things, but we know that the future is bright for Patriots Nation. I want to introduce our next guest. He is one of the people that runs Nashville Pats Fan Club. That's Nash Pats Fan Club. Give him a little shout out there on Instagram as well. Give them a follow. He went out to the NFL draft last year and made a pick. Got to announce a pick that's very rare and messed it up. But we'll get into that a little bit later. We got Justin Zolot on the show today. Justin, tell him what's up.
Hey, how we doing, you guys? Appreciate Babs having me on this week. You know, I've been following you all throughout the weeks. I love what you guys are doing up there in Boston. Really kind of makes me feel at home. You know, now I'm in Tennessee, but, you know, I feel like I'm strutting around Causeway Street, walking to the Celtics game with you week to week.
So what's funny is that for those that are unaware, myself and GRD grew up in the Merrimack Valley, Minga Valley area, and Justin was only a stone's throw away from us. We didn't even know that at the time. It's just when you get to start knowing each other, they're like, oh, no shit, I'm from like Andover, North Andover, Lawrence, and we're all in that vicinity up there. So it's kind of cool to have those homegrown ties. But Justin, I mean, you know, before we get into Nash Fan Club, how did you just venture off from going from Massachusetts down to Tennessee?
Yeah. I mean, I was one of those guys that, you know, always making decisions and kind of not following the leader type deal, just being the leader. I just wanted to get out of Dodge, man. You know, everyone seems to just, you know, after college, they just move down to Boston. And if they're really feeling daring, they'll go to New York City. I said, screw it, man. Follow the music, you know, and just have a good time. I mean, I've been down here a couple times before, but none to the extent of what it is now with seeing so many Boston people here.
What year did you end up moving down there?
Yeah, so I graduated college in 2012, went to Union, played baseball up there, upstate New York, and then I moved in July. So I literally had about 2.5 weeks to get out of the off-campus, you know, house and school, and then get down here. So
that's crazy, and it's funny because Nashville is such a booming city over the last couple of years, and you've seen it, I'm sure, living there. And it's good that you've gotten your feet in there and you kind of get your ins everywhere because as more people are becoming transplants, it's like you have a foot in that city and it's amazing. And I'm glad that we're still keeping you entertained up here.
Yeah.
And you still have that little like the coronavirus thing. Obviously, that's one of the biggest topics right now.
Yeah.
Myself and GRD going to the game just on Sunday, making fun of it and getting in there with the masks and everything like that. It's just fun times.
Classic, man. Absolute classic. I saw that all over all over the social media, man. Well done on that.
Yeah. Thank you. Some people don't like it, but or some people doubt us. We're just having fun. Like we just like to laugh
Yeah,
at ourselves, and
you
that's all
gotta,
it is.
you gotta. I mean, obviously it's a serious issue, but man, like to pull something like that and
Yeah.
just make light of it, you gotta.
Now, a lot of people know me as like the guy who's the Bud Latte drinking, loudmouth SOB who just yells into his phone and wears eye black. But what's great is I do a lot of traveling the last couple years, and you go to a lot of these road games. When you go to these road games, all of Patriots Nation tries to band together for one party. And if you didn't know, Justin has a say until some of that stuff that happens. Now, there's other different. I think it's Barry that runs
Yep.
the
He's got
tailgater
the
group,
Patriot tailgate. Yep.
which is for those unaware that again, if you take the time, go on Facebook, look up Patriots Tailgate. If you're going to travel to a game, they might tell you, hey, this is where the landing spot's going to be Saturday night. That's where everyone gets together. I've showed it off on my IG last year a couple different times. But Justin and the Nash Pats fan club have taken it to a whole nother level. 2 years ago, unfortunately, the Patriots lost that game. But let's not talk about that. We're going to talk about the weekend itself because Pats fans that obviously were from the younger generation, the older generation did say that was one of the best weekends they've ever had. And you had set that up pretty much, you and your team around you.
Yeah.
I want you to talk a little bit to those at home listening and watching that. How did Nash Pats fan club start? How did you get involved? Talk us about that Tennessee setup 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So with the Nashville Patriots fan club, we've been around since 2014. We've now grown to be the largest fan club in the country, which is pretty insane considering that we've only been around for 5 complete seasons, going on number 6. But having said that, kind of how it started, I moved to Tennessee not knowing anybody. There was really no singular place where we could get together, watch any of the games. Where we live locally, we're in Titans country. So I had the fortunate pleasure of meeting 2 of my buddies, real good friends now, Matt Cody, who's out in Sacramento now, and Hunter Dudzik, who lives in the Providence area. And I'm the last amigo standing here in Nashville. But nonetheless, we came up with this idea that we needed to find a place that would obviously be welcoming enough to take our business and give us the audio. Something so simple. But, I feel like with anything, everything's, big starts with a simple idea and running with it. And so we did that for about a year, kind of bouncing around different spots. Finally came across Whiskey Rhythm, which was a brand new bar right down in Midtown Nashville. My current roommate had a good friend who started the bar, so we had that personal connection. And we just ran with it. We got the banners. When you walk in, you had the Super Bowl banners. We had a DJ, so we're always playing live music. We're always playing music during commercial breaks. And then what you experienced, Babs, and the folks that were in town in 2018, at that point, we had shifted up the street to get a larger venue at Frisky Frogs, which is now Live Oak, where we're at now. But we were fortunate enough to have that spot, which could hold hundreds of people. So when you walk in on a Sunday, this upcoming season, if any of you come down to Nashville, you can expect anywhere between 300 and 400, whether they live here or they're visiting or they're just stopping through, on their way to wherever. But that weekend particularly, we obviously knew since the previous April when that weekend was happening. It so happened to happen over Veterans Day weekend. We're really big into the community and the fact that we live in the South. There's a huge appreciation for the military. Not to say that there's not appreciation up north, but especially in the South where we have a military base 40 minutes away. And so we're able to come together and plan this massive event on Saturday. I had about 2,500 people, and the proceeds, or a good portion of the proceeds, went to Operation Song, which essentially allowed people to come back from active duty and pursue music, to assimilate themselves back into society. But with that, we had live music, all throughout the night. We had a VIP tent with an open bar. We had Patriot raffle items. We had Fitzy getting up there. We had the Patriot tailgate, or Patriot cheerleaders. We had Stanley Morgan get up there. I mean, we had food trucks. I mean, it was off the chain, man. Like, it was everything I have envisioned and taken to like the 10th level.
Yeah, I was actually upset because I was supposed to be invited on stage. Silver Bullet was gonna get me up there, and Fitzy, and
Yeah.
I had two beers inside. They wouldn't let me outside,
Oh,
so I was
God.
trying to chug them, and they're like, "Where were you?" Like we did this. I just want to say too, to reiterate this, and how crazy it was, is that this man right here, sitting here, Justin, is a young guy. Like it's not like he's just like an experienced in doing something like this. And to see your face on that Saturday just light up, because everything, there's so much work that goes into that, between ticket sales, making sure everything's set up, customer service, is everything going to be available for drinks, food, and keeping everybody in good spirits and a good mood.
Yeah.
But guess what? That wasn't just Saturday, because it spilled over into
Oh my
Sunday
gosh.
across the street.
And again, taking a step back, totally giving all the credit to the team behind me, with the officers, Jen and Mandy and Rob and Christine, like absolutely giving them a shout out as well. And Brian, I couldn't do it without them, certainly. But yeah, to move on with the party there. I mean, Nashville, if you haven't been down here, the bars don't close until about 3:30 in the morning. So you can imagine people partying all night at Frisky Frogs, getting their drink on, meeting Pats fans, talking about the game that's going to be happening tomorrow, or even the game, how the season's going to be turning up, which certainly it ended in a good way. But having said that, Sunday morning, we had a full-on tailgate with probably as many, if not more, fans show up outside the stadium. So we had about 3,000 fans in a hotel parking lot, which, I mean, the vendor that we had used as catering and kind of security and all that, I mean, he hadn't seen anything like it. I mean, he was like, holy crap, like you guys.
It
blew
felt like a playoff atmosphere.
Oh my God.
With all the fans that were there.
Yeah.
For all the Patriots fans. And you just said the bars are open until 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
That party started at 7 a.m.
I remember people had not slept, man.
Yeah,
I just showed up like they looked like a bag of rags in the morning, from the night before, still smelling like booze and cigarettes and everything else that they experienced hours before.
I got back to my hotel at like 3:30 or 4 in the morning, because I knew I had to get up.
Yeah,
I woke up at like 7, and I was just like, I felt like shit, dude. And I rolled out, and I showed up late, and everyone was already drinking, getting the vibes and everything. Like,
there wasn't a single cup that was empty. That's for sure.
And
they were pouring. I remember Big Phil from Canada. He made the joke, months later when my dad and I were up in Foxborough. He's like, I swear to God, I had a splash of Coke with my whiskey. I mean, it was literally filled up to the brim. You guys know how to. That's all you guys drink down there in Tennessee.
And even though, yes, the game didn't go the right way. That's the thing that blows it up. Because think about not sleeping all night, partying the night before, partying during the day, and losses hurt. Justin, because let's just take this for an example with the thing that me and GRD just did. Right?
Yeah.
We had a great day. We're vibing on Sunday. Everyone's laughing, taking pictures of us. The Celtics lose by 1 point in a heartbreaking loss. Yeah. And it's just like, I want to take this shit off. I want to go home.
Yeah.
It's the same way with that Tennessee weekend, because you can't negate like the parties and the atmosphere. But man, that loss made me like want to forget about it. It's like me spiking that terrible towel in Pittsburgh. That was awesome. It went out there. People making fun of me. They lose the game. It's like, I never want to think about that weekend ever again. Yeah. But it's amazing. And now you end up using that vendor for the Cincinnati trip.
So what's really good about the Southeast and the network that we have, of course, we have fan clubs all over the country, but particularly in the Southeast, with Cincinnati being the most northern of that group, is that we're really, really close in the fact that we're sharing ideas, we're networking vendors, we're networking contacts whom we would need if they're Patriot alumni or whatever type of fundraising effort we're doing. So a lot of credit going to like John Gray down in Atlanta, Todd King in North Carolina, Ches Chezik in Cincinnati, and of course Hardcore Montana and Cujo down in Memphis. So that's a good core group. And so Ches had brought down the folks from Southeast Ohio and Cincinnati area, and they were again just totally blown away by the experience of tailgating before a game on the road, no less. And so when it was their turn to step up to the plate and host Pats Nation, which you and I had an awesome time at, I had dropped them a line saying, hey, my guy down here in Nashville is willing and able to travel up a few hours up the road and throw down. So it was really cool to see that we could really utilize our own network to replicate or try to replicate up in Cincinnati what we had done in Nashville.
I want to show for a visual of those actually that watch this podcast. I know most of ours are listeners, but I just pulled up my story from November of 2018. I just wanted to give people kind of a visual of what it looked like out there. And that's the Nashville game. What I like about you, and this is not a complaint to anybody else, every away game, they have their club and they kind of do their thing. I love following it, dude. If I could, and I really wanted to, like, let's say the Patriots play the Jets on a road game. Done that a couple. I like the MetLife because we have our own little thing coming up. But I'd rather come down to Nashville and just party with you guys on a game day because I just think the vibes are so electric, and it's something I've really wanted to do in my lifetime. I'll get there eventually. I got a lot more things going on this year that will end up happening, which is gonna be interesting when that comes. So that's something I really want to do. I will say this, and we both went through this together because we both went to the Houston game.
Oh yeah,
Houston pre-party. God bless them down there. Didn't have the Justin Zolot Pats fan club type of vibes because it's the little things that go into that stuff. When you're paying money for something, you want to make sure that you're taken care of. I swear to God, both Cincinnati and Tennessee, you paid money to get in. Like you said, every single cup was full at all times, and everyone was fed, and there was still food. So there's been times, no offense to Houston, I went there, there was barely any food left. Remember that we went there was nothing really left. There's not a lot of beers left. It's even in Baltimore, I remember doing that one, and it was under the freeway, and it was and it was like, all right, everybody, we're cooking like 10 hot dogs for 100 people. Like, oh, these ones are done. Like, we'll get you next round. It's like, come on, like, you pay $40 for that. You want to be taken care of, and those are the little things, and you have it down packed. And I hope that those that are listening out there, if any fan clubs are, or this ever gets out there, I hope that your hands can get more into the away games like that. They should be bringing you into those areas.
And
your team,
listen,
not you, but
no, I get you. And I think, the network that we have, not so much in the Southeast, but in general, all the fan club leaders just sharing ideas when they know that their hometown or their home where they live now is like the go-to road game, that they need to know that what's coming towards them. And so what we had put on, that was months in the making in terms of being able to find, get the parking license and get the VIP tents and get the entertainment. Like it is. And thankfully, I had some people to help me out and try to visualize, or at least put color to what I had to visualize. But it's really, you get out of it what you put into it. And so to all the newer fan clubs, especially, or those that like this upcoming season, Babs. I got Seattle circled, regardless of what time of the month it is, or what time of the year. Like that's going to be the go-to road game, in my opinion. So Chris Porter, if you're out there, man, you got it coming to you.
We'll be wrapping this up on this part, but it's just amazing to see that, like you said, it takes time and years. And I'm hoping deep down inside, if we've talked about it off record about how we feel that we could be the new guys that lead that new era in patriotism. I really wish down at Gillette Stadium, I love going to the Tailgater 2000 because it's starting to build and towards that. And Leanne and Megan, I know that they're going to be kind of like the future that takes over there. And I'm nice and respectful. I don't want to impede on the older generation or crowd.
Yeah.
People want a place to come hang out, party for a bit, drink. Things are taken care of. When I go to games, I know everyone does their own thing for tailgating. I'd rather go and be able, and I don't care if I have to pay. I'd rather go, food's taken care of, beers are taken care of. And I really hope that in Gillette Stadium or outside Gillette Stadium, that eventually starts happening too. If those pregame parties start happening at Gillette, I wish it does. And I want your name all all over that too.
I haven't moved back, Babs. That's where I'm going my business ventures.
It's amazing, and I'm sure that the fans before us that have done this for many, many years, the torch is slowly going to be passed soon. We know that Patriots Nation is taking a turn. Not going to be for the worse. It's just going to be a new era coming in whether the next 3 years. But No, I can't wait to see what you have up your sleeve, up your Blazer sleeve there this upcoming year. And just make sure you check out Nash Pat's fan club and Justin Zolot too for anywhere he goes. Let's move on because not only did in 2018 did you guys get to host that game and show, not only did you show the fans, Patriots are watching that shit. They know what's going on. They're also helping out as well too.
Yeah.
So there's a little love.
Whole write up in that Patriot Weekly. I mean, it was badass, man. I was like, wow, okay.
That's why I say social media to anybody out there. Players are looking at everything. These teams are looking at everything. It's public thing. So they're going to keep an eye on what's going on. But I want to talk about the NFL draft. It was in 2019. Now you're coming off of, already hosting a major event for 2 days in Nashville.
Yeah.
That game didn't go the right way, but you know what went the right way? The Super Bowl went the right way. And I'm sure you guys had parties down there and did your thing. And then you're coming off a Super Bowl championship, and guess who's the host city? Oh, Nashville gets to host the NFL draft. So now you're still going to have more influx of football fans in general. So Justin got picked to go up on stage and make a third round pick. And we'll get more into that in a second. I want to play the clip of you going up on stage, and we're going to break this down.
Justin Zolot. Oh, nice jacket. With the 101st pick in the 2009 NFL Draft. Is he from New England? The six-time world champion and defending Super Bowl champion, the New England Patriots select. Oh my gosh. Yadi Kajust, offensive tackle, West Virginia. Okay. Is that his real accent? There we go.
Is that your real accent?
I mean, when you're 10 beers deep, probably 20 beers, I'm counting really. It comes out. It definitely comes out as you start drinking.
All right. So we could break this down in like 10 different ways. First of all, I got to give you credit. You took your time. You went nice and slow. You're really kind of like, all right, hey, this is who we are. We're the New England Patriots. Yeah, that accent came out a little bit more when you're, like you said, you're 10 beers deep. You got Rich Eisen laughing now.
Yeah.
There's been a couple questions. There's some questions later on, but I've seen a couple, and people are just wondering, how did you get to be able to make that pick? If you remember anything from that day, but walk us through, the entire NFL setup, the NFL draft.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll rewind the tape to about a month out from the draft. So let's tune it to about a year ago from today. I got an email from the Pats marketing department that said, hey, congrats, on all your success, with the club. We love what you're doing down there. NFL draft, obviously, you know about it. We want to come down. And what do you have in store? I'm like, well, I wasn't anticipating you guys coming down. Like, that's unbelievable. And so I kind of scrambled to go find a spot on Lower Broadway. A buddy of mine was a GM at a bar with a rooftop down there. So that Wednesday, the night before, the first night one, if you will, which was Thursday. But on Wednesday, we had the Patriots hosted a sponsorship, a fundraiser, if you will, for their charity fund. And folks paid $10 to get into this party on this rooftop that I had secured. And the raffle was obviously some, Gronk memorabilia, some Matthew Slater stuff, some really cool stuff they were giving away. But the ultimate prizes, if you will, were the envelopes. No one knows what the hell are in these envelopes. So we get to, Fitzy's there with Francis and the team there with NFL Fan Therapy, and we're having a good time. And we start picking these envelopes, and inside the envelopes were wristbands for which the fans that were, nice enough to come, either the ones that were local or ones that caught wind of this, so, get together, had the opportunity to get in what we call the inner circle, which is, if for all of you who've seen the setup, Lower Broadway was where everybody congregated. It was all general admission, what have you. And then there was VIP. And then in front of the VIP was the inner circle. So these are people, you can't even buy these seats. Like, you have to know someone in the organization, or the organization has to gift it to you as a guest. So it was pretty cool. Around me were super fans left and right, like people that are on like programs for the respective teams when you go to visit on game days. It's really cool to meet these people. I mean, listen, I'm a guy who just wears a shirt and tie on game day, but like some of these people go all out with the face paint and everything, and just absolutely wild. I think your buddy from Philly is one of them, but the guys down there, or at least would be one of those guys. But anyway, long story short, so I was fortunate enough to go in the inner circle for all 3 nights. And the first night, obviously, Roger Goodell does all the announcing of the picks, and then the second night is when it's mostly player alumni or current players. And so if you guys remember, it was Dante Hightower, who's local to the area, as well as David Andrews. So they did our 2 picks. So we had 3 picks in the second and third round that second day. So they did the first 2, and then there was an open slot, right? And it was and because we won the Super Bowl that year, it was the very last pick before Tim McGraw came on stage, which was the nightly entertainment, for the public there. Well, I had been literally drinking for like 5 straight hours, and it was an open bar, and I'm ripping shots, and I'm having a great friggin' time. And the lady with the headset comes up to me, NFL Network, right? And she's looking around our section, and because there's only about 15 seats in our section, they sit us just like almost like you're at a political convention where each state sits together, like each team sits together. So I know pretty much everyone's name, that's sitting right around. I said to her, I said, who are you looking for? And she gave me a look, and I'm like thinking, like, all right, am I getting kicked out here? She says, you're perfect. Come with me. And I'm like, oh my God, like, all right, I swear to God, I won't have another beer. Like, I mean, this is like amazing. Like, I don't know what's happening at this point. Like, she says, no, you're not getting kicked out. You're going to go give the next round or the next pick for the New England Patriots. And I'm like, you're what? Like, you're kidding. Like, this is not real. And mind you, there's only about 2 picks in between the person who is currently on stage and when I'm expected to go up there. And and so I get back there, and of all the people that I see is Rodney Harrison. Like, obviously yours and my childhood hero, thinking about the interceptions. We're thinking about just the hype man for the defense for our boys back in the thousands. And he says, man, he says, man, you don't look so hot. I mean, my eyes are literally in the back of my head at this point. He says, but I'll tell you what, he's like, you look damn good. And I wouldn't think of anyone to be more representative of the Foxborough faithful, shit-faced out of their mind, looking good. Cold weather doesn't matter to them. They're there in the moment. They're loving life. And so, so he starts talking to me, and then Josh Scobie, who was so random. I guess Jacksonville had picked right before us. I don't know, in a trade or something. And he says, I will give you $100 right now if you trip and fall, as you're walking out there. I said, Josh, this is my moment. You've had many of your moments making last minute kicks. I'm going to have my moment right here. I'm going to script it the way I want to script it. I'm going to look good. So they give me the card. I look at it, and I'm like, Yodney Kajust. And I literally, I mean, it sounded perfect, saying it on stage, but because I literally phonetically practiced it with the woman and figuring out how the hell am I going to tell this person's name. And so, almost like a basketball player about to be announced, take the court, like the security guy's like 10, 9, 8. I'm standing there. I'm jumping up and down. I'm like stretching my neck. I'm like doing, windmills with my arms, getting all ready to rock, get the blood flowing. And he goes, showtime. And he pushes me forward, pulls the black curtain. I go forward. And I'm like, mind you, I was so hammered. I didn't want to. This was like my moment, and I didn't want to screw it up because I was so intoxicated. So I didn't even look up. And I looked up very briefly, and I'm like, oh my effing God, there's 200,000 people staring at me in the face, not even counting the people that are watching at home, in the bars, at their homes, wherever the hell they are. Oh my God. And I just said, this is my moment. I'm going to own it. Didn't even look up. And I just said exactly how I felt from the heart, which is speak, pause, and just build up that hype. And it was so perfect for the last pick. And little did I know it would blow up the way it did, but it was for a fan who didn't even know that was going to be happening. I don't think I could have scripted it any better.
I was going to say, hearing that story, and to be honest, I know we've talked a little bit, and you probably told me in pieces, and I probably forgotten because I drink so much Bud Lights all the time.
Hey, that's not a bad thing.
But hearing that story, what's amazing about it is the fact that it's almost like good karma came your way for that. It's not like you were just handed an opportunity, like because you did all this work or anything. It was literally the right place, right time. Yeah. And sometimes these things actually happen. I've lived through that myself too. Plenty of things that I've done. It's the right place, right time. You got to be there. But it just makes the whole story and the journey just kind of wrap up together, because it's not like the Pats marketing team was like, oh yeah, we're going to bring you on. Don't worry about it. It's just like, you just happen to be right there.
I just happened to be there. I just happened to be wearing a jacket. And granted, all I had to do was read the damn card. and so focused on getting his name right that I totally screwed up the year. I said 2009. So everyone's asking me if I'm going to Vegas to go for the 2010 draft.
When did you notice that you screwed up did you know you did it right away, or did you just get off stage and say something?
I didn't even know it until I got back to my seat and people were like, "That was awesome. You totally screwed up the year." And I'm like, what? No, you're not. And then they're like, "Yeah, you did. Read the damn card." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you're right." What was hilarious was waking up the next morning and Barstool with Coley writing up that little speech. And the line that got me literally almost in tears was only this guy and Jim Rice had no idea what year it was, or Jim Brown, excuse me. Only this and Jim Brown had no idea what year it was. Here I am being compared to obviously the greatest, running back to ever live and play the game because he's just senile and had no idea what year it was.
Yeah.
And I was just a drunk asshole, playing the part.
But you had people laughing, and though it's a minor screw up of getting the year wrong. It's not a major deal. You got his name right at least. You got the name right.
I didn't even try to.
Looked good.
I just literally just went with it. It's like getting your names. It's like getting the lines wrong in a play or a movie. Just go with it.
Exactly. Like Rodney Harrison even said, you looked the part. You did your job there.
Yeah.
So what was the final day like? So that was day 2, day 3.
That was day 2. Yeah,
I was day 3 and 4.
I mean, day 3, it's rounds 4 through 7. I mean, they're letting the fans get up there. There's not a lot of hype around it. A lot of guys are. Listen, I mean, think of some of the greatest players that were drafted for us in these rounds. These are players that you may know about if you really follow college football to a T, and other guys that you're just like, I don't know anything about. Let's give him a fair shot, and see how it plays out. We think about the likes of Brady. We think the likes of Edelman. I mean, list goes on and on of guys that just got overlooked. And somehow our guys, our coaching staff, as talented as they are, especially Belichick, I mean, just finding diamonds in the rough in this third day. But it was low key. I mean, it was middle of the day. It wasn't at night. And, but it was good for people coming out of town to kind of check out Nashville that day.
Yeah, you're coming off that high of just being out there and you're enjoying the moment. Because even me, I saw that and I posted that shit right away because I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's up there. Like, holy shit. That's amazing, man. Again, congratulations on that too, because that's seriously a once in a I'm jealous. I want to be up there. I want to be doing that. Spike King wants to be up there. And but it's a once in a lifetime chance. And like you said, right place, right time. There was a kid on day 3. I don't know what round he did, but I ended up meeting him at 6th string when I did my tattoo this past year. And he came up to me and was like, "Oh, I'm a big fan." He goes, "Oh, I got to say a pick last year." And he showed me the video. It was pretty cool too. It's cool that they can get the fans involved like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about, man. It's all about fans. It's all about them experiencing, the host city and just feel like they're a part of it. And with Yodny Kajust, it was unfortunate because the Pats came down here for preseason. And so the initial plan was, I have it somewhere around here, but I have his actual draft card still in my room. And I'm hoping one day to actually give it back to him. And I mean, having that personal relationship with players, supersedes any, talent that they have on the field. They're people too.
Oh, 100%, man. It's
kind of feel like, or not feel, just be a part of, his experience and what he's been working towards for years on end. He didn't get the opportunity to play this year, but
I'm gonna tell you this. You might see Spike King throw out these crazy things, and people don't believe me. And we came out about Marcus Cannon, and he's supposed to be retiring. I'm telling you right now that he's probably. Well, no, I'm not gonna say probably. He's going to get cut. He's going to retire, and Kajust is going to end up moving up into that slot and take over for Cannon's slot. Because I've seen that. I've heard that being talked about, and we've been sitting on that and waiting because it's like, oh, all right. But anyways, and I'll make sure personally to try to get that shit to work out together because that needs to be out there somehow.
I'd love to
he needs to see that.
That's kind of the goal, at least this year.
Yeah.
It'd be a road game with you and me, whether it be Seattle or somewhere else. But, that's the goal, that I need to get that to him at some point.
Vegas draft this year. You go into that at all? Have you been planning that? I know we talked about it. I'm not going.
I'm actually going to be sitting this one out this year, unfortunately, just with scheduling and whatnot. But yeah, listen, I mean, it's exciting. I mean, for the better and for worse, I think, the whole Brady ordeal will certainly, play a big influence on how they drafted out.
So let's get right into that. The Brady free agency, man.
Yeah.
Like what? And this is an open forum about Brady free agency.
Listen,
you can take it forward.
Yeah, everyone's got entitled their opinions. You know, obviously, I'm in the boat of I want him to stay, but you know, I can understand if he wants to, you know, start a new chapter. You know,
that's such a political answer.
Listen,
that's such a cop out answer.
Yeah,
that's such. Listen, Spike King's been taking a heel turn as of late. People don't like the bearded Babs lately because now Mr. Power of Positivity, Mr. Patriot over here in New England, I've been going against it. I've been saying Brady's gone. I said it's actually beneficial to the team that he leaves. I know I'm voicing that. Do I want Brady to stay? 100% I want him to stay. Do I want to see him throw a pick six to end the season again? Absolutely not. And that's what's going to happen this year if he stays with the team. I just think that's going to lock him up. I personally think let him walk, let him do his thing. Like Ty Law said, that guy don't owe shit to anybody in New England. He's played here for 20 years, got you to 9 Super Bowls, won 6 of them. Let him go and do his thing. And Brady in the last 5-6 years has always been playing with that extra chip on his shoulder. He's always trying to take something and spin it to make sure that he plays better. There's no better way than going to a different team and trying to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah.
Don't give me a cop-out answer.
All right.
Is he staying or is he going?
I'm with you. I think he's going. I think Tom Brady's going, and I think his landing pad is right here in Nashville.
Nashville.
He's going to the Titans. I really do. And
Now,
I may be sounding like, you know, I'm taking a, you know, fruit off the same tree down here, but you know what? It's Music City. It's hot city. You know, they got a good situation with, you know, young wide receivers with AJ Brown and Corey Davis. They got tight ends. I mean, they got a good offensive line. They got, and you know, Derrick Henry in the backfield. I mean, what more do you need from the guy? You know, but the thing is here, and also, I mean, obviously you're going to value the friendship and with the Vrabel and all that. But here's the thing, you know, the dilemma between Tannehill. Do you want Tannehill, for Titans fans, do you want Tannehill to stay? Because this is a quarterback that, you know, had to beat out Mariota as a backup. And not only that, take him to the AFC Championship game. And quite frankly, they should have beaten the Chiefs if they had a defense that could hold, you know, the talented Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, you know. But, I mean, it's really, do they want to sell the tickets and have the big name with a friendship, or do they want to stick with the guy that's kind of already proven himself, you know, in the system that they have in place? So it should be interesting, but I would love to see him here in Nashville if he's going to go anywhere.
It's not and if you say that Brady's leaving or you think he's going to, we're not holding it against you in like Patriots Nation and saying like, oh, you're not a Pats fan if he doesn't stay. Because if anything, you know, there are more Brady fans than Patriots fans. And I actually am excited to see him leave, to see who sticks around and stays as a Patriot fan.
Yeah.
Nashville, do people really want Brady down there? Are they like, let's get Brady? Like, what's
the
deal?
I mean, listen, Nashville is all about, it's kind of like the LA of the South. I mean, they want anything that's the you know, hot item off the shelf. If it's a storyline, they want it. You know, I mean, people are pumped. I mean, I myself, almost as an investment, if Brady, you know, signed with the Titans, I'd probably call my buddy who's a, you know, ticket account exec, say, I want season tickets so that I can just flip it. I mean, that would be the most sense, you know, but I mean, people want it. I mean, you know, they got a taste of success with the Predators when they went to the Stanley Cup against the Penguins a few years back. I mean, the city goes absolutely.
I was gonna say, that was a hockey city. They believe hockey over there.
The Titans have kind of taken a back seat to the Preds, you know, and yeah, I mean, we've had big names in the hockey world, you know, PK Subban and Shea Weber and Pecorine and all such, but and don't sleep on the Bruins fans when the Bruins come down to town. They do take over this place. It's pretty awesome.
I went a couple years ago, and that was before I was even doing the whole Spike King thing, and that was a crazy time for hockey. Cheap flight, cheap stay. You can drink all over you. You go all over the
atmosphere. I mean, I feel like, oh my God, I feel like I'm at the Beanpot, for God's sakes, when they score a goal and everyone's yelling, "You suck!" Like, you know.
Take the bias away, because I truly don't think he's going down to Nashville, and I only say that because I think the friendship thing does not really work out and will not equate to wins later on. If he leaves and he goes somewhere else that's not named Nashville, Tennessee Titans, where do you think he goes? Where's the second choice? Oh God, I hope I didn't lose you.
No, you're good.
All right. Where's Brady's second choice if he doesn't go to Nashville, Tennessee? You've seen everything. Now today has been the big Tampa Bay Bucks. And people don't credit the Spike King, because I was just down at the combine and I talked to a couple of people on the Bucks staff, and they said that they're moving on from Jameis. They're going to go all in on Brady. They're going to try for him. They're going to try for Phillip Rivers. They're not going to franchise tag Jameis because they don't want to tie themselves up, because it's a bad window for them. They have the pieces in Tampa. The Bruce Arians is a good coach.
You're right.
I think it's a small market, too small of a market for Tom. Like I think he'd pass up on that. But
honestly, I mean, I do like that. I do like the thought process behind Tampa. If it wouldn't be that, obviously me being the kind of homer that I am of being in Nashville, I'm big on the Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm big on the Vegas. But if he's going to go to Vegas, Babs, I think it's strictly for the money. And simply they're going to back up the Brinks truck. They got a new stadium. They got a new branding, new logo. Everything is brand new. And so, I think Mark Davis is going to give him the money that he wants, and probably should have gone in all the years that he took pay cuts for us to be successful.
And it's not even money. It's like business, branding, TB12. Yeah. He goes out there, and I'm telling you right now, his contract will be 2 years, $70 million. Because if it's already 2 years at 60, they're going to give him an extra $5 million a year. Yeah. And with Vegas, it's not even that. It's the second he's on that team, $1 million in jersey sales. How much of a percentage is he getting from that merchandise sales? Yeah. TB12 business now going in the casinos out there. Like he can start expanding out west. Well, Brady can't, bring his kids and his wife out to Vegas. LA is only 4 hours away driving. And with his money, private planes, he can get there in half an hour, 45 minutes if he wants to with a private jet. And people don't think about that. That guy can get on a private jet and go for a couple nights in Vegas, does his practices and whatnot, and the family will still see each other. So I think it makes the most sense. And I think the NFL is going to want to push it that way. And they're going to want them, because just like the Rams, and my conspiracy is the reason why the Rams were in the Super Bowl is that they wanted to build up that LA market. They need that team to be successful to get the fans. The same with Vegas. They're going to have the Raiders fans no matter what. They're going to follow. They're going to have the tourists that come in for Vegas. It's a great attraction for a away team, but they need to build up that Vegas area to go into games, and nothing is better than having
listen, if he goes to LA, whether it be with the Chargers or Vegas, I think you hit it spot on. It would be a simple business decision of his branding. Not his branding as the quarterback, but his branding post,
what else does he have left to prove in New England? No one's going to remember him as a Vegas Raider 5 years from now when he's retired from the league. They remember him as a New England Patriot, even if he wins a Super Bowl with the Vegas Raiders. They're going to remember him for a New England Patriot. They're still going to build him a statue. He's still retiring as a Patriot. He's going to be in the Pats Hall of Fame. What does he have left to prove? He has 6 Super Bowl rings. He has the same amount as the most other franchise, which is the Steelers. Like, it's just, he has done everything that's untouchable for a quarterback for 20 years. It's great that he can just kind of go out somewhere else, try it out. He's banking on his business, and I think that's a business decision. Let's move forward, because if he does leave, who's your starting quarterback for the New England Patriots going into the 2020 season?
Man, wow, the hot seat right now.
I don't spend enough time with you, and I need to know all your opinions.
I knew I had to be on the hot seat here. All right, this is seriously my take here. I don't think they go with Jarrett Stidham. I think they continue to develop Jarrett Stidham. I don't think that he's not the future. I just don't think he's the future right now. And I think a lot of Pats fans will agree with me on that. I think at this point in time, two options that I truly believe. One, Andy Dalton. I think Andy Dalton is definitely talented. I think he's just played with a really shitty organization where he was just not that he wasn't getting the weapons around him, because he certainly with AJ Green and Giovanni Bernard and all these really talented players, they just didn't have the coaching. I mean, Marvin Lewis should have gotten fired 10 years prior to than he actually did. And a Cincinnati Bengal fan will be the first person to tell you that. So Andy Dalton, don't sleep on that. The other one is Jameis Winston. That's a hot take, but I think that
I'm all in on that. I'm all in on that.
I think as we're going towards a league where they're mobile and they can make the extra play, extend plays and such. Listen, I know he's got a bad rap. He's done some dumb shit, whether it be stealing crab legs from Publix or grabbing people where they shouldn't, but at the end of the day, listen, he's a talented quarterback. Again, he just can't seem to put it together. Maybe it's just a system. So, but if there's any coach that can turn a a player into what had been historically a bad situation is Belichick. And you look at Randy Moss, and you look at Corey Dillon as A and B.
I know, and I want to talk about the Jameis Winston thing again. I put it on IG. People call me stupid. They don't want to listen to me. Jameis Winston is going to be a free agent at 26 years old. He just got paid $20 million this past year. This guy comes to New England, just goes in, and what's funny is people are going to throw money at Brady, all these other teams. QBs are going to go to New England and take the pay cut for a couple of years because they know that playing there for 2 years and then leaving, they're going to get paid somewhere else. Yeah. That's what New England's been doing for the last 25 years, like under Belichick. You get these guys in for cheap, you get the value out of them, then see you later, smell you later, go get paid somewhere else, Danny Amendola. Yep. So when you have Jameis Winston come in and say, hey, I'll come for 2 years at $20 million, give me $10 million a season, that's fine with me because guess what? Pat Mahomes resets the market. If Jameis can sniff the AFC title game at minimum, he's getting paid somewhere else. Someone's going to give him money at 28 years old when he hops back on free agency. Josh McDaniels, he has more say, I think, for the draft this year for a quarterback because he needs to get he's taken over, like, eventually.
Yeah. I think that's a no-brainer. When he left the Colts at the altar, I think it was right on the wall.
100% just going to wait it out. Just wait the 5 years out. Let Belichick, start learning a little bit more, maybe do a little bit more play calling, a little more decisions. Let Belichick get his wins. Once Belichick passes Don Shula, he's done. Like, that's it. I mean, he hates Don Shula, and I think that's the reason why he wants to stay around for that. Yeah. So, and that could take 5 years. That could take 4 to 5 years. So they draft a quarterback this year. You have Stidham. They're competing. You bring in a bridge quarterback that's competing as well. You never know. Stidham could, Belichick could be like, we're going with Stidham, like that, and that could happen. Yeah. But that bridge quarterback for the 2 years, a Dalton, a Jameis, a Mariota, somebody like that comes in here, and that's what the Patriots will have. But guess what? If Jameis Winston's on the team to start the season, what's their record? Are they AFC East champions? And are they going deep in the playoffs?
Man, I say no. I really do. I say no. I think.
Damn, you're like the most realistic. Like it's crazy you're wearing the blazer. You got the bow tie on right now. All Patriots decked out. All Pats decked out. And you're just like, Brady's leaving. They're not going to go far. Like, it's.
I don't know.
If you were on social media the way I am right now, they would have your head on a pike right now. They'd be like, I can't believe you're turning against us. But you're being real. Go ahead.
No, I'm just listen. If I were to say we're going 14-2, like I'd be crazy. I'd be crazy. Like, I mean, a lot of our struggles were who the hell was going to get open. You got N'Keal Harry, who's obviously got the height and he's got the talent, but he wasn't able to get separation. And I mean, we just had offensive struggles, and I haven't seen any moves being made in the offseason to address this, and that's why Brady's being so fed up with the situation. Now, having said that, really impressed with how the Buffalo Bills have been playing. Obviously they, even in the state that we were in, towards the latter half of the season, I mean, they were right there with us, and had we not pulled out that W, around Christmas time in Foxborough, we could have been playing wild card weekend, we could have been, playing against Houston in that 6-3 game. But having said that, I think Buffalo is certainly up there. I mean, I'm not giving Miami right now, but give them a couple more years. I mean, they are stacking it right now, and they're all in on Flores. I mean, I love what Flores is doing right there, but
I'm just quickly, I'm in on him on too because we don't even have to talk about the Jets because the Jets are going to be the Jets. No. I mean, they're going to be the Jets. No. I like him, Sam. I can't even think right now. I like him out there. I like what they're doing out there, but they're not going to the Jets. Buffalo Bills, 2 out of the last 3 years in the playoffs. They haven't done something like that for God knows how long. Yeah. Sean McDermott is the real deal for a coach. Yeah. They did it right way, but they're slowly getting better. And that city and that town is feeling it. You can feel it up in Buffalo when going to that away game. If you're a Pats fan, you circle Buffalo. Just go to that game next year. Because I'm telling you right now,
the best ones I've been to.
I'm telling you right now, the Buffalo Bills will get a win against New England at home next year. I'm already going to chalk that in. Doesn't matter if Brady stays or goes or whatever. And you make such a great point about Miami. 14 picks this upcoming draft with like $85 million in the bank. they're going to start building their team. I think they tank for Trevor Lawrence, but they start building that team around for him.
Or
and
they're drafting Tua. I mean, there's
Yeah,
talk of
they
them
could do
drafting
that
Tua out of
too.
Bama. I mean, there's even talk of them taking what's his face, Justin Herbert out of Oregon. I mean, they're in the market for a quarterback. I mean,
He looks really good at the combine. Justin
he did.
Herbert.
Yeah. The only thing with Herbert, and listen, I'm an Oregon fan when it comes to like Saturdays, but having said that, I mean, I guess he just take away the Rose Bowl against Wisconsin, he didn't show the toughness that I feel like a perennial quarterback coming out of the draft will display when they come in. Like there's a game against Arizona State where he threw 3 picks and really didn't recover on that. And so when you think about, as you're drafting a quarterback, how mentally tough are they in situations where we literally just took Brady for granted, where ice in his veins, taking him down against the Jacksonville Jaguars in the AFC Championship game. Like, I mean, think about the games against the Colts historically. I mean, you need to have that X factor in a quarterback, especially as your leader. And we've just been so fortunate to kind of take that for granted.
Let's go back real quick.
Yeah.
You know what their schedule is. What's the record? What's the final? If Brady's not back.
Yeah, I think the Pats have 11 wins in them next year, assuming that they stick with this 17-week schedule. I think that they go 11-5. I think that the Bills go 12-4. I think we grab a wild card, the first wild card, and then we're playing on the road. But you know what? Our toughness and our experience will get us to the divisional round. I don't know who that will be against, but I do believe we'll get one playoff win next year. Hopefully more. But I just think there's so much in the air right now. And again, Babs, I know we're just shooting it in the wind right now. It's only March, but a lot can happen between now and the draft. Where we're somehow now throwing picks out to get people like Hunter Henry or AJ Green or people that we aren't even speculating right now. I mean, you think about how the Pats operate. Like Belichick has he's 10 steps ahead of everybody else. And while everyone, including ourselves, is worrying about something over here, he's over here to the left doing something that no one expected.
And the credit, this is in Bill we trust. Like I've said, if Belichick can work his magic and pull this off, and just think about this. You're the New England Patriots about to lose your quarterback for the last 20 years that has done everything for you. You have probably $30 million in your cap space. That guy leaves, you're eating $13.5 million this upcoming year. You're eating that on the salary cap.
Yeah.
You have a first-round pick at number 23. You don't pick again until the third round, and your comp picks are the end of the third round into the fourth. You pretty much have a slew of fourth-round picks. You think you could take all those fourth-round picks and trade up? No one's going to do that. I don't see another team doing that. Then you have no money whatsoever to get players in here. And we've kind of thrown this out there of Stephon Gilmore. He's scheduled to make $18 and $19 million the next 2 years. Belichick got all the value out of him in those first 2. He ended up going to a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl, or the first 3. Went to the AFC, lost in the Super Bowl. He ended up winning a Super Bowl, and then last year won Defensive Player of the Year. In those 3 years, he got everything out of him. Got a lot out of him.
Hey, the game clinching, interception.
He did everything you asked. Guess what? He's about to make money the next 2 years. Well, he just won Defensive Player of the Year. Let's ship him away, get something out of him, get that money back, and then spend it elsewhere. I think they're ready to move J.C. Jackson up to the 1 slot. I mean, they did it with Malcolm Butler for a couple of years and let him slide up, and they got away with it. And and I don't think Butler was that great. Like, they just got away with it because that's how the defense is. You look at the defense last year, that defense was stacked. They couldn't even, when times were tough, they couldn't really handle it, and it showed. I think they were pissed off at the offense. And the offense, what are you going to do with the O-line? You have Isaiah Wynn, who's only played half a season in the last 2 years.
He's been solid during the times that he's there.
But is he going to get hurt again to start the season? You have Joe Juni's leaving, so you have no left guard. I'm telling everybody right now, if you are listening to this, because I won't post this on Instagram, David Andrews has not been cleared yet. And I don't know if David Andrews is coming back next year. And that's another thing that Brady's probably looking at and saying, he's built that little connection with Andrews and is saying, I don't even know what my starting center is, because guess what? Ted Karras is a free agent. Now you have to pay Ted Karras to stay there. And Fournette, who's the other backup, is a free agent. You have no starting center right now. So who the hell is hiking the ball off to the QB? And I'm telling you right now, David Andrews, I don't want to get too much into it. I don't think he comes back. Then you go over to the right guard. Shaq Mason had an off year. He had an off year, but he's paid. He's going to be there. He's the vet on that line. Then you have Marcus Cannon. He's out of there. We know that's going to happen. Kajus is going to come up there, and then no Scar. So those 5 guys right there got to protect the quarterback. If you have a terrible O-line, no matter who you throw in there, they're going to get sacked a bunch of times, get hit a bunch of times. That's what Jameis Winston threw him 30 picks. I know Jameis Winston just was blind out there.
33 picks, yeah.
but you need to get these guys protected. So once you build that protection, what about your receivers? Like you just said, now you're relying on everything on Edelman. N'Keal Harry has shown a couple things. You're going to lose Philip Dorsett most likely. You lost Josh Gordon last year. Like, you're losing key defensive players. If Brady leaves, the McCourtys are gone. Like, Devin's probably gone. He's probably, screw this. I'm getting away. They might pay Slater to stay just because they need a vet role in there. Like you said, a lot of things can happen over the next month and a half. It's
dependent on Brady. I know. Like, that's their guy.
He is the biggest domino because it affects everybody kind of staying and going. But I'm saying it as there are so many things with this team that needs to get fixed in this offseason, and they don't have the resources right now to do that. And I look at next season as just go through the motions. They're not going to be a Super Bowl contender next year. By no means they will be.
No.
But it's not like they're just going to roll over to somebody and say, oh, we're done, we're tanking. If you want the Patriots to tank, you're an idiot. No. Belichick's not going to do that. They're going to still play competitive. Maybe they get a little fired. That's what happens sometimes in sports, and you end up going forward, and you make the Super Bowl, maybe even win it. So
same that was the Titans' mantra.
Yeah.
They came on hot late in the season, and then, obviously the upset in Baltimore was huge, and they almost took it to the house, and they almost played in Miami. Like,
I will say this: if Brady walks, Edelman becomes the face of the New England Patriots.
Agreed.
And I was telling the JE11 brand, because I've done a little stuff with them. Sure. I said that's your time to shine. Like, that is your time to take over and do everything. So, do you have? I'm gonna go to questions real quick because we're gonna wrap this up. I think I had this right here. This is from Jake McMahon. Other than the obvious in TB12, who is your X factor player that the Pats need to pick up or resign this upcoming season? Now, there's been talks like Jamie Collins has been like agent needed. Van Noy has been linked to see you later. Cordy.
I'm going with the Van Noy aspect. I think Van Noy certainly, played a huge influence on the defense, and especially with the pass rush. You think about, the play that he made against Jared Goff in the Super Bowl. I mean, he just has that X factor that I don't think he was displaying when he was with Detroit. And then when he was just under the right coaching and defensive scheme, he really stepped it up. And obviously he wants his money as well, but I think, if to answer Jake's question, I think that's definitely Kyle Van Noy.
So I'm gonna kind of spin this a different way, because Nick Burgoyne, if I ever got to go on stage and say someone's random name, I'm just gonna spell out the letters. He goes, will the Pats bring back Van Noy and Collins? So I'm going to actually spin that one and say, you got to pick one. Who would you rather have, Van Noy or Jamie Collins back next year?
I'm going to bring Van Noy back for the mere fact, the fact that he's been consistent, the fact that he didn't have that previous hiccup where he was acting out against Belichick, got sent to Cleveland, then comes back and with the right mind. I just think that Kyle Van Noy certainly just holds that kind of presence on the field where we will never question his work ethic, nor will we question his antics on the field.
Nolan Cyrus Q said, what do you think the Pats need most in the first round? You have that 23rd overall pick. What are you taking with that pick?
I think we're going to take a defensive end. I really like I really like the guy, I made a note on this here, Babs. AJ Espinosa from Iowa. Yep. The fact that he's going to be able to replace Trey Flowers on that line and be able to just be a presence there. He comes with good numbers, and the fact that, he comes highly recognized, I think that would be good to kind of start there and get that pass rush. Lastly, Jay, the Pats fan, ask Justin when the fuck he's coming to Tampa. Justin, when are you going to Tampa? Damn. Wow. Shit. I should have gone to Tampa hadn't we actually, gotten that far and gone down to Miami. That was my plan. But Jay, I'll see you soon, brother. I will see you soon. I got to get Jay on here because I've been following him too.
And about Jay too is that he's been doing the Gronk what's it called, the stadium blitzes, and he's been the guy wearing the Patriots hat. He's been repping Pat's Nation and Gronk and all them know about that too. So it's awesome what he's doing and what he's building.
Me and him had some fun in Baltimore this past year, so he's definitely due to get on there. And Jay, I'll see you soon, man, for sure. Hopefully it's not Brady, under center down there in Tampa. I'd rather go for
You both have a chance to have Brady out in the Tampa or Nashville.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we must be living in good spots if that be the case.
I think Brady just wants to follow in one of your footsteps. He wants to know like somebody like that. But
he knows that I'm going to throw him a good party on the way down here.
Justin, I thank you so much for coming on today. I really do appreciate it. Justin Zolot, you make sure you follow him at Justin, I think _Zolot 22. You find him there. Follow Nash Pet Fan Club, one of the best fan clubs out there. Any last words out there that you want to talk?
Babs, again, I just want to thank you for the time tonight. This is awesome. I love what you guys are doing. Stay tuned on the Brady front here. If he comes to Nashville, then certainly we're going to have to regroup and chat more about it, see what the vibe is down here. But Nashville, again, on a more serious note, keep us in your prayers because we had a tough week with Nashville tornadoes, and it really caused a lot of devastation in the community. And, our fan club certainly stepped up to help the community and, create awareness. And it's nothing. I know growing up in the Northeast, man, we've never seen anything like that, but it's exactly what it is in the Wizard of Oz, man. It is no joke. So.
Yeah, I actually, when you were saying that a little bit earlier about how the community comes together, and I was thinking about the tornadoes in the back of my mind. We didn't get to that at that point. But how's it been in terms of everyone just kind of coming together?
It's awesome, man. I'll tell you, it was crazy. I mean, it was last Monday. It was the middle of the night, which makes it even more dangerous. Everyone's sleeping and not really totally cognizant of the sirens and what have you. And a lot of us, because we're transplants, we've never gone through this, But it's been super awesome, since last Monday when it happened. Every night has been, a benefit concert where big name country artists are stepping up. Free of charge, in terms of performance, it's all fundraised proceeds. And then, this past weekend, we spent hours, getting the chainsaws and getting the gloves dirty and just doing some cool volunteer stuff. And it's really cool to see the kind of community come together, and especially with the club. I mean, people are donating their time and getting together and going to Costco and getting supplies out for the people that were directly affected.
And not only that, it's not getting a lot of attention, let's say, in the media because of coronavirus that's going on right now. And that's everybody wants to talk about that. And it's great to see that at least the community's like, all right, we're going to fucking get together and we're going to actually do this.
Yeah, it's awesome. And the Preds and the Titans have been awesome. And I can't say more about the community. I've been here for 7 years, and it's kind of been a journey, being here and seeing the city grow, but it's even cooler to see them that when you get knocked down, how we rebuild is as awesome as we are. And that's just as Americans. You think about other cities that have gone through tragedy. We, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what jersey you wear on Sundays. Like, we're all here to help each other.
Yeah. When like your back's kind of against the wall, like, and everyone's in that same boat, you all just kind of group up together and you just got to do your thing to fix it. And then you guys go back to bickering and calling yourselves losers and go fuck yourself and all that afterwards.
Exactly. So,
but Justin, again, I thank you so much, man.
Yeah, my pleasure, man.
Episode 41, Boston's Big Three, presented by Ride the Wave Media. We thank you, Justin, for coming on.
My pleasure, man. Have a good night. Ride.